Alright, so, we were pretty reckless that last one. We'll try to be a bit more reasonable this time, and hopefully we get a relatively different set of clans here. I guess Wurmkin, but just can't get away from Stygian, I guess. Although we do have the Forgotten Powers, which I'm sure have changed. Wow, this is interesting. So Echo Snare now costs 1, but could potentially apply a lot of Reap. I'll have to see. It definitely seems better for late game, but does kind of seem like it definitely loses early game power potentially. And then no changes to Force Contam, which makes sense. You could probably even nerf that card and be fine for it. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's any changes to Infector or Corruptor. But, yeah, do Corruptor, because why not? Eggs. I probably don't end up with a Wurmkin, it looks like. I think I want to hit boom, boom, boom. So probably just take the Vapor Funnel. That's fine. Corruptor isn't... if there's any point at which Corruptor is weak, it's the first 3 rings. So taking an early game artifact is more than fine. This is easy trial. This is basically free. So like right here, for example, in the context of this turn, it does essentially exactly what Echo Snare would have done before. However, I had the best situation for it. I have the Ember to be able to play it and 2 cards which generate echoes. Like any other setup, this would have been worse turn 1, right? But we're fine here. So I don't know. Definitely early game, it takes a pretty big hit. Let's see. Might as well put an Echo on this floor. And, well, we might as well... it doesn't really change much. Let's just do this. Might as well put some Echoes up here. Usually want to backline with the Corruptor, this ring. We could have a bad fight here if we can't chunk through these fast enough. But this looks good to me. We should be good here. Yeah. And we'll just pwn this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't check, so... yeah, deals 1 damage. See, this one I think just comes down to... like, in my opinion, Forgotten Power didn't need a buff. Like, I'm fine with Lances getting a buff, but... I guess similar to Root Seeds, it's not that big of a buff. It's just a nice to have. I'm fine with it. But, for the record, I don't necessarily think it needed a buff. But I'll take it. That one I think comes down to preference, because I know Dusk really hates Forgotten Power. So, in his eyes, it wouldn't be a very good card, and it's in need of a buff, right? But in my eyes, I really like Forgotten Power, so there's always an element of that, right? It's like... players will have different, thoughts on a card and what it brings to the table. Looks like Bogfly, no changes here at all, which is interesting. I've always thought this card sucks. Shelter, no changes. Wurmkin still I don't like. Bogfly with Corruptor might be okay for now. I mean, if I don't find necessarily better stuff for at the Stygian tier. Like, I could just take it, I guess. It's pretty bad, though. I don't know. I might skip here. It's unfortunate. And again, it's just Wurmkin things, man. Adding fucking units instead of infusing the stuff that's actually good. I'll still take an offering token, I guess. Okay, I'll take the shark for sure. Sweeper also could be okay, but I want to have increased chance that this Merchant of Steel is really good for me. I'll put a shitstone on it. I guess I'll take this. It's really not... Like, maybe I should have took the Sweeper, I don't know. Sweeper also, just, I could have got quick on it. Then again, against Patient, if we don't end up with Dazed, which, unlikely, but... Yeah, I'll put the shitstone here. I don't know, though, because then I can't really reroll. It's an expensive shitstone. I could just add health to it. And reroll. I mean... Basically, this is fine. I don't need to shitstone it. Okay, multi-strike. Now Siren's fine. I'm fine with Siren now. I would like to hold out, though, if I could for... Oh, never mind. Every single Merchant of Steel is complete trash from here on out. So, I might have to add a shitstone here. This is the other shitstone, Battlestone. Man, I really don't want to do this, but my hands are kind of tied. By the way, it looks like this unit had no changes, so while Siren of the Sea got a nerf, Nameless Siren didn't. Which is fine, I guess. I mean, Siren of the Sea's always been better. I don't know that it was, like... Siren of the Sea's good, but I don't know that it's so good that it needed a nerf. I don't know, can I justify it? I really don't want to add a Battlestone. I mean, I'm not going to hit this steel. That one's a horrible one, too. This one's hittable, I guess. I could hit this steel here, so after Arcus, I think I can justify that. Any changes to the essences here? No. No. I might be down to do that. Yeah. I still don't think it's a very good card. Alright, let's hit it here. We might just go Sentry in Chief for this fight. I think that kind of makes sense. Just get that large tank going. And unfortunately... see, it's so much worse now. I can 50-50 this. I would love to purge it, though. If I don't purge it now, it's not getting purged. 50-50. Damn it. Well, at least I can kill that. Saves me a lot of damage. I will say the 1 damage on the Foregone Power sure was nice there. But, you know, I still kind of hold to that I don't think it needed that upgrade necessarily, right? Let's do this just for the echoes. Throw them away. We can kill this too. Don't really want to take that damage. I'm not really going to redraw through the decks. Let's just get echoes on the floor. Alright, we can do this. Give ourselves extra turn to maybe draw the other card and purge it. The other Echo Snare. I mean, I spent those shards on it. I'd love to get it purged. There we go. Alright, that is good. That's really good. Definitely going to take that. No change to hosting kin. Offering, I mean, the Crypt Builder just has to get taken here. Is there any changes to Guardian Stone? Not really. No changes to Ice Tornado. That's interesting. I've always thought Ice Tornado sucks, but I guess. Yeah, just gotta go left here. Oh yeah, easy choice. Easy choice. Spell Chain and Intrinsic. Well, there's the Self-Infuse. I mean, I gotta imagine that, I gotta imagine this is worth doing, even if I don't get, well, I don't know. Like I said, these Merchant of Steels really aren't so hot. So, is it worth it to, self-infuse here? Maybe. I could hit the steel. If I don't find a good... let's see what the Stygian... Wait. Duh. I already took it. I didn't even look at what the other unit was. I was probably pretty stupid. I am still playing on about 2 hours of sleep, so... it probably is fine to do this. If I... like, if I don't find a good infusion for Nameless Siren here, I could probably justify this Merchant of Steel because it has a Wurmkin banner. I mean, at that point, I have a lot of stuff I can hit. There's no way I can hit a bad steel here. Like, Large Stone is good for the Shark. I'll settle on that instead of a, you know, instead of a whatever, Endless, and who knows? There's just stuff we can find. Quick. I would love quick on Nameless Siren. Intrinsic. Nothing there. Spell Chain. Arguably the offering token. Arguably. Or arguably the Echo Trance. I don't know. Echo Transfer is actually not that good with Corruptor, but I think we've already taken too many shards that probably aren't going to help us that much. Well, adding more uninfused shit to the deck doesn't seem that good. Seems honestly a little redundant with the Totem Fragment, but the sap is pretty alright. I think I'll take it. Another thing that kind of sucks is... I see, in a way, it's almost a downgrade to Forgotten Power now, because I would love to be, you know, using it to trigger these Crypt Builders, but now I'm breaking the spell weakness because they do a spell damage. So, I don't know. I don't know if I like the change to Forgotten Power. Soul Sucker. I think we want to have Frost Shark on this floor, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm going to do this just for the shards. I'll do that, that, and that. Alright. Never lucky. Alright. Could sap that. That's probably fine. I know they'll be losing some sap here, but it's still like pretty okay, right? Okay, we can basically prevent all of that damage. Just do that. We don't want to lose echoes on this floor. You know, Force Contam uninfused, I might actually remove it from. I might remove it from the deck. It's not that good with Corruptor Spine Chief. All right. Alright, not a hard fight. So Gifts has no changes. Symphony, no changes. I'm surprised at that. I feel like it could be brought down to a 1 cost or maybe extract 4. Interesting that Ice Empire got nerfed. I mean, it makes sense. It was definitely a powerful card, but I feel like on the grand scheme of the cards to nerf, it wouldn't be at the top of my list. I think it's still maybe okay to take, though, considering my totem fragment, right? Okay, now I can justify a pip upgrade. That would be a pretty good one into Nameless Siren. Either way, I'll want pip upgrades with Corruptor. No, which obviously hurts our ability to incant, but the only thing incant gets us right now is Rage, which doesn't even come close to the damage that I'm getting from Corruptor Spine Chief, right? This is a tough one. There's just so much value I'm giving up on the right here. Like, so on the left, I would like Quick. Quick would be really good. I would like Endless. That would be really good. I don't even necessarily want another multi-strike, if I'm being honest. But I'd take it. And Large Stone, I would settle for Large Stone on Titan Sentry. You know, all things considered, I probably won't hit this steel. I don't know, these are kind of equal. I guess I can just... I mean, now the Wurmkin banner isn't that good, because I have probably the best thing I could find for what's her name. I'll tell you what, though, I could just take a Keeper of Echoes if I see it, and have it as a unit, and eventually, if I take another pip upgrade, I could... Nope, that's a lie. I was going to say I could fit it on the floor, but no, Shard Soul Carver is going to make that not happen. I would have to get some luck from a Caverns. Which, you know, I may not even really hit Caverns. I just don't know how many Vortexes I can give up on this run. Like, if I give up this Hellvent, then I'm giving up a Vortex here to get that Hellvent. Like, I want to go this route, truthfully. Like, I don't really want to go this route. We may just have to bite the bullet here, and if we don't get Endless, we don't get Endless. I think there's just too much value to be had over here. Wing Clippings right now is okay with Urchin Spines. Not so good with Echo Snare. I could just get rid of Echo Snare. Other things are like Cuttlebeard with the Titan Sentry is pretty good. Firestone Housing is not really that good. Again, we're really... I guess we could hit up the final 2 steals, since there is a Hellvent with a final steal. I could maybe just see Firestone Housing as an endgame play. I don't know if it gets us that much, but it could be okay. You know, I might want Quick and like some extra health. I don't know that Wing Clippings and Cuttlebeard do as much that Firestone would do for us, so yeah, we'll do that. I could just Hellvent the Ice Empire probably, for now. So yeah, I guess it is worth nerfing when I'm literally duplicating the nerfed cards. So that's pretty good evidence that it's pretty good, right? I think at any rate, I do want to get rid of this. I don't think it's very good. Get rid of Stewards otherwise. No changes to Decayer either, it looks like. Alright. I mean, I can blast most of these. I think this is fine. The multi-strike helps my Titan Sentry do a lot of damage. I will probably opt to put Carver on this floor with Spine Chief. Carver in front. That will get us the kill for Relentless. Man, the only thing that sucks here is... I think we just do this for the shards, unfortunately. Alright, we're gonna go here and here, I think. Alright, Ice and Pyre gets drawn at definitely the right time. Hopefully we can get that other one. We do. Damn. Barely keeping him alive there. Might have been better just to let him die. Is it worth to get his health up? He's gonna die in one hit anyway. Right? So I don't really gain much from inspiring here. I'd have to inspire so many times. We might just be better doing this. This guy's pretty busted. I mean, I'm only on 60 shards. I don't think any of the bosses get changed from this. I would have maybe put the melee weakness in there if I could have. Alright. This is a little bit scary. Okay, let's do this first. We don't want to throw the other Forgone Power away. God damn it. Well, you know what, game? Fuck you too. Fuck you too. Trying to think what's better here, Crypt Builder or Flash Freeze Fracture. I think Flash Freeze Fracture. Oh, we are gonna be close to dead here. That hurt. So far it doesn't seem like Wurmkin has really gotten upgrades in my opinion. Like, it's just kind of been... Oh wait, I just realized that Echo Transfer got downgraded too. It costs 1 instead of 0. Again, I don't know if I like that. Was it really that powerful of a card? I guess everybody thinks so. I don't. So Wurmkin, I don't know. See, this I guess this is like the balance. It's always a bit subjective, right? Because to me, Wurmkin is arguably the worst clan in the game, and all I'm seeing so far is nerfs. So, whereas like Stygian, that other one, even though we lost the other one, it was because I was being stupid. Like overall, it just seemed like Stygian is mainly getting buffed in a lot of areas. Like Wurmkin, I'm not really seeing any buffs yet. So Soul Siphon remains the same. Soul Cripple, no change. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, looks like skips to me. I could take maybe a Soul Siphon, but I don't know that that gets me a whole lot, unfortunately. Frenzied Swarm, no change here. See, this is a card that to me could definitely be on the nerf list before Ice and Pyre, right? This is just kind of busted, but I'll take it. I kind of need defensive options, especially against Patient. So I got options here. I mean, there's a lot of good artifacts in the pool. I might want to do that over a Hellvent, considering my Hellvents just really aren't that good right now. Probably just maybe Frenzied Swarm, but you don't really like to have 2 Frenzied Swarms in a deck. It's not something you'll love to see. I think because my Hell Vents are so low val, we'll just go to the right here. At this temple, we can finally infuse our units. Floor plan has kind of sucked. Okay, Mine Horde I think is really good with Corruptor. If we re-roll here, we can't do well. There's a Divine Boons. Firebox, probably not. Firewall, I think we can do better. Yeah, Mark of an XL. That's going to be pretty good because we want a front line with, you know, with Spine Chief, and he'll get enough health now. Against Stealth Boss, I think we're fine. I just won't play the Titan of Century and maybe the Carver. I don't know. It's tough to say. It's not a Stealth Boss anyway. I think the Spell Shield here is fine. Yeah, we got the Ice and Pyres, but I can be pretty fine here, I think. So, conundrum time. Man. I mean, obviously this goes here. This, it's like, yeah, I said I want a front line with Spine Chief, but that boss just deletes everybody. And I have no real way to heal back or anything. Well, whatever. I think this will hopefully be fine. But again, though, like, that Echo Transfer was arguably not worth it there. Nice. That was pretty good. I think we don't go for the 50-50 here. Just try to preserve what health we can. So if I get lucky here, I could break the Spell Shield. Nice. Okay, I do get lucky here. Preserving health is good. Alright, well that's not too useful here then. We will just do this, I guess. Are incants better, or is putting some Reap on him better? Probably incants. You know, I can survive a hit. That's pretty good. Maybe this here is fine. Get that Spell Shield hit down. Okay, I think we're gonna be fine here. There we go. So right there, I don't know, it was a unique situation since it was Spell Shield Trial, but I will say the damage on the Forgotten Power helped me there, but in a normal situation it wouldn't have helped me, right? Because of the spell weakness. I don't know, Power of Knowledge, again, like why is this card not buffed? This card sucks. Or even a Forgotten Trade, I don't know. I could take Power of Knowledge, arguably. Keep in mind we do have... Eventually, you know, we have the Carver into the Siren, which... I don't have any good targeted backline, and... Not that this is good targeted backline, but it is targeted backline. On the other hand, I don't have Mini, I have one consumable. I have one consumable. And I'm hitting a Merchant of Magic, so I could add damage to it. I could cost reduce it. I think I have to take it. This deck kind of sucks right now, honestly. Okay, Drain is really good. That we will take. The only permafrost I would take maybe is Frenzied Swarm. I think I'd rather just... I don't know. If I had a... I have an okay amount of gold. If I had a better amount of gold, I might be more open to it. Let's see what's at this temple. Is there piercing? Nope, not even like anything really. Well, we can just get our shards here then. This will definitely help with the opening draws, which have been kind of bad, and just the floor in general. I have to find 5 shards. I mean, I could get 15 here. This is a decent play onto Power of Knowledge, because I just don't have the Ember to play this thing. Or this. I think I like it there better. Intrinsic. I don't really need an intrinsic, I don't think. I think we're good at the 110 that we're at. Let's take a look here. Okay. For the greater good might actually be the rare call here. I think the melee weakness is a little bit overkill. I'm with Corruptor Spine Chief and a Nameless Siren with a Shard Tail or a Shard Soul infusion. There's just no way I'm gonna die here. Or there's no way I can't kill things. The only other consideration is the sap, probably, but keep in mind, I have a slot that I've purposely kept open, and I would have to use that slot. So I actually think this is one of those rare cases where I think for the greater good is literally the best choice, all things considered. So I'll take it. You know, I'd rather have a quick... I guess I have Firestone Housing, though, so it's not that much of a downside to use a slot there, but I don't know. I think this will just be nice with Bobice. Let's get rid of a Train Steward. I guess I could get rid of the Power of Knowledge that I just added, because honestly, the more and more I think about this, it's pretty fucking bad. I think maybe the Force Contam, though, is pretty bad. Let's do that. I'd actually be down to... Well, if I could do it all over again, I would put the -2 on the for greater good, because it's pretty good. Do we need to hold out on anything special here, or should we just attune that right now? Like, yeah, I could get a +30, I could get a +10 here, but I think just a +10 is fine. I'd be down to double stack that, I think. Just play that whenever it comes around. You can get that down to a 1, I think. Yeah. I guess on the one hand, it's nice that you can Surge Stone these Forgotten Powers now, so there is that. I might just Surge Stone this. It's a one-time only thing. I'd like to keep it and use it. It just kind of sucks. Yeah, let's try to use it. It's redundant with itself, but whatever. I only need to use it as like a desperation backline removal. Alright, we get our units here. And I'm going to backline with her. Am I really that worried about them? Let me just do that. Alright, you guys go there. We can do... Still think this shouldn't be... I mean, it's still okay at a 1 cost. I still don't think it really needed it, but that's fine. That's fine. Rally. Does this count as a rally? Well, we'll find out. Nope. By the way, you know, just on the point there, Forgotten Power did throw itself away. There's only a 50% chance that that happened, but even then, my Ember was at 0, so is it really that bad compared to a Lance which costs 1 that I was, you know, able to play it? Still think my evaluations on Forgotten Power remain. We could do this there and do that. Don't know about this stealth guy. That seems like the worst one I could have got, but whatever. Oh, whoa, no way. No way. This card didn't need that upgrade. I'll take it though. Jeez, I didn't even notice that. That's pretty powerful. That's a little bit busted though, if I'm being honest. Drain was already one of the best cards in the game. But I'll take it. Alright, that's incant. I guess I just won't do anything there. This guy's dead no matter what. I'll kill that guy anyway, I guess. Not getting very lucky with these Forgotten Powers, but that's how it goes. Alright, we're saving you. This one I like. Kinda. It's okay. I think I gained more from Frenzied Swarm. I love this train. Yeah, let's just get rid of that, I guess. Alright. Blast him for nothing, but that's fine. He'll only chump through his own units there. Looks like Echoes of the Past is no change. Wurmkin Etchings is no change. Probably, no, I mean, Echoes of the Past is horrible with Corruptor. I could take an Ancient Synergy, I guess, but it's expensive, it's not infused. Am I hitting this steel? The Horde is better than the Caverns, for sure. We still have Karuska, Bog Slime, Echo Seedling. We have a lot and a lot of good hits at the artifacts, but steel... Well, what do we got at the Merchant of Magic that we want? Like, plus damage here is fine. Holdover on for Greater Good would be okay. Though I might prefer it just on a Frenzied Swarm, maybe. At that point, I probably need to start removing Forgotten Powers. Ember reductions here and there would be fine. But, well, if I go left, I should commit to this. But honestly, with the Totem Fragment, yeah, let's just go, well, not left, I'm going right, I should say. Because I need, you know, I'd like to maybe hit this steel since there's a Hellvent, but here I can dedicate, if I don't get a -2 there, the you know, that stuff. So do I want Ember or Draw? I think we just want Draw. I'm going top. Stick money here because we don't have much of it. And I do need money. 69 is gone. And it's gone. Double stack Frenzied Swarm is enticing, but if I do that I can't afford... Well, let's see what we got here. Nice. Okay. That's beautiful. So now I can do it. That's good. Let's double stack this. That's super good. Let's bring it back down to a 1. And there's no reroll, but we might Surge Stone. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. Okay. Get an artifact anyway. I guess I'll take this. I don't know really how much we can make use of it, but sure. I think maybe Surge Stoning one of these is fine? Or one of these? One of them? And also I think Corruptor 3 could probably be nerfed. It's a little bit ridiculous. Alright, this mark should be fine. I think I'll actually put this here. I don't really want to deal with Ember Drain next turn because I already am. Well, Forgotten Power, I would say overall is more powerful. Even with what's been going on here, it's been pretty good, I'll give it that. I'm actually going to do this so I don't get Ember. This is how much I hate Ember Drain. That is how much I hate Ember Drain in a nutshell. Alright, we're going to do this. That. I was going to do that. I think I'm just going to do this and cry because I can't win a fucking 50-50 ever. Literally. Like, when have I won a 50-50? Answer is I never have. Oh, that's horrible. Is that how it normally is? Yeah, I guess so. We can do that. Not too shabby. This is, I think, my favorite guy. Just 5 damage to the floor and jump block. It's not that good, but it's also not that bad. Okay, we can do that and this. That's living armor. I probably should not be styling. I feel like if enemies are part of the balance patch, eventually living armor definitely needs to get buffed. Revenge of the Damned remains the same. Total Recall. Interesting. That is changed. It's definitely better. It's kind of the opposite of what it used to be. Instead of making things consume, it brings stuff out of the consume pile into your hand. Wow, that thing's going to be definitely something you can make infinites work with. I mean, for this deck, it doesn't make any sense to clear my echoes out, so I'm not going to take it. But I do think that's an interesting change. I like it overall. I do wonder if somebody like Hart, though, could really abuse that. He's pretty good with infinites. I could imagine him making pretty consistent use of that, maybe. But that's just all speculative. Could take the Broken Memories, I guess. But I just don't have any good consumables to return. I mean, I guess you could argue the Urchin Spines, but it's really not that good in this deck. Like, I'm already applying better sap with other cards, or just Dazed, and then I already have 2 spell weakness up top anyway. So, unfortunately, in Revenge of the Damned, it's not going to be good at vanilla because I'm probably going left here. Yeah, I think we just skip. Well, now I'm thinking about going to the right. Because I could just take another Ancient Synergy, spend 110 gold on it, and then I don't have to spend... Like, I was going to Hellvent this Ancient Synergy. I mean, I guess I could still go left. It sure would be nice to get Endless on the Sentry. It sure would be nice to get Quick on the Siren, but 25% chance I don't find either of them. I guess even just another multi-strike is fine, though, so... I think we just skip and go left. That was the plan, anyway. I could Hellvent, like, for the greater good or something. I have this Pyrestone housing. I might as well try to make use of it. Okay, we got Endless. That's great. Not gonna take that shit. Alright, Quick is great. And we'll just add damage per echo, because why not? And then the rest of our gold will go... I don't need the Kinstone Totem. It would be good with this deck, but I don't need it. Seaweed could be okay. Probably Seaweed, and then just removals, so... Let's get rid of that. That's it. Unless I want to boons it for, you know, however much. I do feel like this is pretty good against Patient and just going to be pretty good for me in general to have for the greater good duplicated. I think we're fine here. Since I can't heal, I feel like it makes sense. Pretty good turn. Ah, man. Never mind. Like, that sucks. I really can't play these here, I think. Because I really do need to start stacking sap on this guy, I feel. Yeah. Well, maybe Ember Upgrade would have been better. Lesson learned. Wow, that didn't kill him. Am I not self-infused? The fuck? Well, I'm quick here, so that'll take care of that. We should just do that, I think, and then really? I think we just do this. This is pretty fucking rough here. We just do this twice. Protect my melee weakness here. Oh, well, it didn't end up mattering anyway. Of course, why not? Why not just fucking betray me, Forgotten Power? I mean, maybe there's an element of like, how many times am I going to talk Forgotten Power up and just have it utterly fucking fail me, right? maybe, just maybe, there's some truth to it not being that good. I don't know though, I still feel it's a pretty good card. I'm not gonna give him a rally just to do like basically nothing. Oh man, Forgotten Power. Here's the thing though, it's like, as a card game player, if your mind is right, you know, if your mind is right, that doesn't hit him, right? So we can do that, and then that. You look at those type of plays and you think, well, I'm just getting fucking unlucky, right? Like over 100 plays there. Most of the time it wouldn't just massively low roll me. Well, I mean, yeah, if my name wasn't Gabriel, maybe, but you know, most of the time it's not supposed to just discard the worst target every single turn of every single fight. Okay, well this definitely goes there. Have to go top, but we really want to find Drain and Forgotten, or Frenzied Swarm early. Let's get rid of that. I could do this just for some sap. I could do that. Play that. I was almost gonna play that first. That would have been fucking GG. I mean, like I said, it has to eventually stop doing literally the worst target every single time. Eventually, right? But yeah, RNG is not very good right now. Like all the tanks didn't get sigiled seaweeded. I think we gotta do this. We really can't have the light wing living here. Probably should have just done that, but whatever. I need to basically, okay, we also bottom deck the fucking Frenzied Swarm and Drain, so we're like taking massive amounts of damage here. It's a pretty fucking annoying fight so far. But at the same time, like I said, it just doesn't seem like Wurmkin really got any buffs. I'm not gonna trust my Forgotten Power here. No fucking way. So ridiculous, the goddamn double heart. Like, that, the redirector didn't even die there. It's so stupid. I think this should have piercing by default, personally. Okay. Just put you there. We may not be able to kill this boss. It's not looking great. The worst possible one. My god, dude, this is actually pretty fucking annoying, but whatever. I'll probably live this, so he does have lifesteal. I am thinking we want to keep this guy to be the one that's fucked, though. Alright, we actually don't take any damage there. Okay, that dying is in our benefit. I'm going to be Ember Drained by 1 if I do this, but I think I need the damage to this floor, unfortunately. That still dies, which is great. I think we still keep doing that. Nice. Actually got a Forgotten Power to hit something nice for once. Amazing. This is a fine turn to be Ember Drained. Alright. So while that dude wasn't great for the other turn, it ended up being pretty good to get this heal off, right? Okay, we finally got another good Forgotten Power there. We'll win, it looks like. Just an annoying fucking fight, though, all things considered. 321. This actually does more. They're all dying, so let's just do that. Alright, I mean, what the fuck? Alright, this is just... I'm not gonna risk that. Pretty fucking fucked, though, huh? So all things considered, doesn't really seem like Wurmkin got much buffs. Let's check the whole book, though. I'll just have to see. See, this... I guess a lot of this will come down to playstyle, right? It's like, I think... If I'm not mistaken, I think Dusk really considers Wurmkin to be pretty strong. It's interesting because, like, I feel like... Because Dusk has a 100% win rate, so it's like... I could see it being kind of a blessing and a curse when you're trying to evaluate power levels, because it's like, for me, since I still lose games from time to time, I can at least get somewhat of a sense of power levels of cards and whatnot through win rates, but when his is just 100% all the time, all he mainly has to go off of is I guess how it feels in a run, right? So like, I can see cards like Forgotten Power just feels bad often, right? Like look at it on this run, it just pisses the shit out of me, right? But in my data, it's the best. It's the second best performing starting card. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like Wurmkin might just feel really good when he plays it, right? Because there's a lot of cards that just feel really good. But we'll look at the logbook and see. So this run wasn't that good of a run, all things considered. We barely won. I do like... It does seem like Stygian overall has gotten buffs. I mean, that did get nerfs to things like Ice and Pyre. I would argue that Urchin Spines is roughly nerfed. I think the older version is a little bit more powerful. But it's not that big of a difference. It's still a great card. And it's maybe better now. I don't know. I've only played it twice now, so it's hard to really give a conclusive answer. I guess just the fact that it's costs 1. Often it's the thing I liked about it was that it was so low investment, like 0 cost was just a free incant at worst, and at best it just clears out the floor with a spell weakness. Now I actually have to make a choice on whether or not playing the card makes sense on a given turn. Granted, yeah, it gives more spell weakness, which I would argue is a bit redundant / win more. But the sap could be nice. I can see the cat sap being nice. Yeah, Ice Empire is still a great card though, so like it's a warranted nerf. I just wonder if other cards needed it first, like Frenzied Swarm, for example. Ancient Synergy could probably use a nerf too before Ice Empire, in my opinion. Drain got a buff. I don't know about that one. Like, I'll tell you this: it feels better. It definitely feels better to be able to choose what you discard. So I'm not gonna. I like this change, but it's making a pretty strong card even stronger. That's the thing I'm kind of curious about. Still not sure the Echo Transfer needed a debuff either. And I think like Power of Knowledge to me absolutely needs a buff. Like either make it a 1 cost or a Pierce. I'm indifferent on the Forgotten Power change. It was pretty nice at several points on this run. It's probably overall just a buff, right? I was worried that it would ruin my spell weakness. I don't think it ever once ruined my spell weakness. So overall it's a buff, but again, I don't know that it needs a buff. So let's just give a quick look to the logbook. I want to see Wurmkin as a whole. Like we haven't really seen the banners changes. I know that a lot of the banners got changed. So Wurmkin Spike. I can't remember if it's always been 4x or if it was like 2x before. Either way, I think functionally it's similar. Accelerating Evasion has no change. I would like to see it do something outside of eggs, personally. Even though I know it's like an egg-themed card. Like, I don't like a card that just only has purpose with eggs. I don't like the design of this card, but I guess at that point you would just redesign the entire card, right? Bugfly still seems weak to me, still seems useless, relatively useless. So the Bog Wormling has changed. We'll look at the egg. Bounty Echoes is the same. Memory's the same. So these are all the same. This one's the same. Soul Crushing Guilt didn't get a nerf. See, to me, it's like this card is one of the most bustedly overpowered cards, but maybe to Dusk it isn't, right? Because he's kept it the same. Like, I could see this one at least costing 1 versus the Echo Transfer costing 1. Like, Echo Infusion got nerfed. Again, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's a really powerful card, but does that need to be nerfed while Soul Crushing Guilt doesn't? That I'm not sure on. So Ambient Charges have gotten a complete rework here. Consume cards in hand, gain 1 for each consume. I can't even really speculate on that one. That's just such a wild change that I'd have to see it in practice. Like, my knee-jerk reaction is that it's still bad, but I guess you could thin a deck out with it. It's very similar to Sac Res, so I think if you can make Sac Res be a good card, then you could probably make this be a good card, but you know me, I hardly ever take Sac Res, so it would be powerful on the turn you did it. I just wonder how much of a liability it would be, right? Like, it's probably pretty good. Like, I'm just trying to think about how this goes without actually playing it. I'll just have to play it, I guess, to see, but, you know, now that I think about it, I'm like, even if you're burning up cards that you don't want to burn, it's still kind of like, there's not that many turns in Monster Train that might matter that much that you burned them, and it might just more be nice that you can just gain a stupid amount of echoes on any given turn. I actually think this is a pretty good card then. Speculatively, of course. Haven't played with it yet. I like this change because I never picked this card before. Anything to change this card is good. It's a unique change, and it's a change that makes you have to think, so the more and more I think about it, I actually like this change and I like the card, so let's give it a shot. Bog Chrysalis has no change. Echo Break. I would have loved to see Echo Break change. I am actually... I have maybe a hot take here. I think Echo Break is the worst starter in the game. Like, in a vacuum, compared to Torch, obviously it's better than Torch, but I think what it does for you in Wurmkin does much less than what Torch does in Hailhorn. So I really think, you know, comparing it to Torch isn't the way I would really look at it. I would look at what does it do for you in Wurmkin. Not much. Like, adding Surge Stone it is a lot of times a downside, so you can't even Surge Stone it in a lot of cases. So, like, really, what do you, like, I don't know, it's just, the damage is largely irrelevant, the extra damage. And it's also just a boringly card, so I would love to see this completely reworked. I think there's a lot of interesting things you could do with Echo Break. I hope he just decides to entirely scrap what the vanilla does with it. It's so boring, and just do something really unique. I don't know what that is. I can't. Just something different. Like he's done here with Ambient Charge. Like, this is awesome rework, right? Theoretically. You know, I'll give it a shot to see for sure, but Echo Break needs the same treatment in my opinion. I think that I hate the fact that it's so similar to Torch, but I also hate the fact that A, it sucks, and B, it's just so boring. And then you have Echo Infusion, we talked about that. I still don't know if I like this Echo Snare change. Like, I don't like it, I think. It seems like a bad card got worse to me. And then we talk about Echo Transfer, Echo of the Past, no change. Eternal Kinstone, no change. Glareminder. I think the Reap... Whoa, this is weird. So it's no longer a sweeper. Seems like a downgrade, honestly, but that's all speculative. I'd have to play around with it to see, but just now it's like a poorly statted unit that is mainly there to apply a bunch of reap to the front. I mean, will apply a lot of reap to the front unit, but I wouldn't see myself really using this card, but I'll give it a shot if I see it. Kinhost Vessel, I would like to see something. I guess it's still fine. I would have liked to see some, maybe just a minor change. Oh, really quick, we should look at the essences. They didn't change Bog Chrysalis. I would love to see Bog Chrysalis get a change on the essence, because maybe this is just a personal thing. I never use that essence at all. Like literally never. It just seems like a horrible essence. So I would love to see an essence change there. Okay, that's a really powerful essence. So Kinhost, Glureminder, that essence could be usable. It would be better than probably just leaving it as a unit. But this Kinhost is a ridiculously strong essence. Well, it's not ridiculously strong, right? This, to me, is actually what the shop upgrade just should be anyway, right? You pay a little bit of horizontal space to just basically get vertical scaling in a way, right? Like if you think about you think about wide scaling versus tall scaling. Multi-strike is a tall scaling thing, whereas putting more units on a floor would be wide scaling. You basically sacrifice some wide scaling, potentially, sometimes not, but potentially, for multi-strike. So I actually like this. I think it's I think it is balanced. It's strong, but it's balanced, that essence. I don't know how much it fits this unit, though, having the pip increase, because is it really known for pip? But it's fine. I could see maybe a different downside being thematically fitting this unit more, but in a vacuum, paying a pip for multi-strike is fair. And honestly, that's... Being that this is a balance patch, I kind of feel like you could argue that multi-strike should be nerfed at the Frenzy Stone specific upgrade at the Merchant of Steel. I think you could give and take. Like, you could make Large Stone have trample and have multi-strike have a downside. Maybe not pip, because that's competing with Large Stone for what the downside is, but give it some sort of downside at least, in my opinion. Perfect Insanity got a very big, well, yeah, kind of a big buff. I'm not gonna lie, I've used it a lot on flying bosses, so... But yeah, Extract 4 to just delete a unit seems decent. I don't know that it's good, but that's an interesting change. Whoa. Oh no, it's just the same. Okay. For some reason I was thinking it said Extract 5, and then I was like, oh no, Attune 5. Return Soul got a nerf, that's legit. Yeah, it's just the same thing. It got nerfed by number. That's totally fine. Carver, did that get any changes? No. I mean, we didn't even... I made that infusion without even checking that it got changed, but... Yeah, there's no changes there to the unit or the essence, which is fine. It's a strong, balanced unit as it is. No changes to Shelter, no changes to Resonance. I am so surprised that he didn't change the Bog Deep Cocoon. It's like exactly the same. Same essence and everything. Maybe he just hasn't gotten around to reworking that one yet. To me, this unit is so unusable. Shell 12. Oh no, he did change it. It's not 3 pip anymore. Well, that's definitely a buff. Still don't know if it's that good though. It still has 1 health at the end of the day. Still costs 2 ember. Still has 12 shell. I'll have to play around with it. It's definitely a lot better at 1 pip though. That's a big buff to Martial Lord rank 3, if anything. Even if it as a banner. I feel like as a banner it didn't help it that much. That's just speculative, but I do think Martial Lord rank 3 got a huge buff from that. That's a huge buff to Martial Lord 3. So this is a big change that I know he had made, which is to remove the extract component here, take the health down a bit, and just make it 2 cost. I mean, that's pretty decent now, right? I don't even know that it's good. I've had some thoughts on how to change Glug Slider. Personally, I would like to completely remove, like, so like lore-wise, it eats it eats stuff, particularly echoes, right? So right now, I think it's lost a bit of its lore component there. It's like thematically, there's a few things I think you could do. Like, it was kind of cool to have a unit that extracted to be able to play it. But it's really hard to pull that off. But B, the payoff just wasn't there. Like, I don't know if you need to extract on play, but I still like. I feel like Revenge Reap is pretty boring. I've never liked that about Glug Slider anyway. It's just like a shittier Frost Shark in that regard. Like, I would much rather it do something like either have a slay thing where like it just fills your fills all of your, or like gains a bunch of echoes on slay. That would still probably be a shitty unit though, honestly. More what I'm thinking is just something that interacts with the echoes each turn. So like, I'd be fine if instead of Revenge Reap, it was like eat all of your echoes and just do Reap, like on Resolve, just remove all of your echoes, and for every echo removed, it just like scales. Or I guess you could apply Reap to the entire floor. That would suck because it doesn't do any immediate damage, but if it was like a really crazy amount of, like say it was like 5 Reap per echo, outside of the bad downside there that you have to keep making echoes on that floor and that it doesn't do any damage that turn. I mean, say you generate 5 to 6 echoes a turn, that's going to be 30-ish Reap to the entire floor each turn. I feel like it's a pretty good unit then, because right now it just, unless they're multi-striking, it just does 5 Reap to every unit. That's not that powerful. Like, that's still what the vanilla one does, and that's why I don't like the vanilla one. I don't feel like Reap to only the attacking unit of 5 is really that good of a breakpoint. So you would change it from, something that's pretty decent into Relentless to something that's useless into Relentless, but is pretty damn good at like clearing waves. I don't know, there's a lot you could do with it, but I will say this, I do at least like that it's much more playable now. Like, I could see myself taking Glug Slider in its current form, because it's actually playable, right, consistently. And I don't know, it's pretty good stats for 2 cost. Not for, it takes up 4 pip, but this could be a good setup where you just do this and any of the eggs behind it. There's anti-synergy there, of course, while they're hatching, but once they hatch, it's pretty powerful. Keeper has no changes, which is fine. The essence... Interesting essence. The essence change, I like that, though. Like, that could be a pretty good essence. It might be OP, just at first glance. 1 Ember to pay. Like, that self-infuses to a 3 cost, but basically is the same as getting 2 echoes on a floor at that point. That's pretty powerful. You could, 3 cost Keeper of Echoes, you could definitely make that work, and if you get 2 to 3 of those self-infused on a floor, that's pretty busted. I'll have to play around with it and see. Looks like Kinhost has the same essence, which I don't like, honestly. Like, it only really works with endless eggs and arguably maybe some reform strategies. Other than that, I don't really love it. And I guess Kinho's Carapace just doesn't have any changes, which is a bit weird to me. I feel like it's as unplayable as Glugsider. Like the payoff is, it's like the same unit essentially in what you have, or like if you compare the vanilla units, like you basically have to, you know, have echoes already to play it and get any value out of it, or to play it at all in Glugsider's case. But I don't know. I don't think, I feel like Kinho's Carapace could use a change for sure. Like, why not just not have the pip component, maybe? Would that be too weird? It's probably OP then, right? And as I said, I think Power of Knowledge is horrible. I really think it needs a buff of some sort. Just simply banking out a 1 cost could be a good start. I still think it's a bad card then, but it's at least more takeable. I still don't know. I don't think Soul Cripple's good. I feel like it could be maybe a 1 cost as well. Still think Symphony of Soul's not that good. It could be reduced. Unearthed Remains is fine. I think it's a well-designed card already. Then Etchings. First to Kin doesn't look like it's changed. Yeah, nothing changed there. And Total Recall's interesting. I'll have to play around with that. So I don't know. I think overall, though, I guess Wurmkin got buffed pretty big at the unit tier, but nerfed at the spell tier, which I suppose is fine. I know it doesn't really relate to this run, but maybe we'll just take a quick look at Umbra too. Because I know he has big complaints, or you know, he's pretty adamant that Umbra's the worst. Just wonder which buffs have been made here. Penumbra gets Lifesteal 2 by default. That's interesting. No changes to the stats in these morsels. And there's basically nothing changed here other than Forever Consume got a slight buff. Still probably functionally the same. Prism Retrieval still the same. Yeah, I don't know. I've always still felt like the morsels are pretty weak. No changes here. No change there. And Tumbra Assault, that is a great change. It's such a simple change, but it's crazy how much 3 to 5 makes this from like crap to now it's pretty good. Like 5 actually kills Ring 1 sharded up backliner, and also I can add piercing and 10 on it, and I can kill a Shade Wing or a Light Wing or whatever late game. I actually really love that change. That's just a simple sense-making change, right? Cannibalize, I think, still sucks. So these look like the big changes. I guess you don't need to change the morsels when you're changing the gorge effects here. So now if Crucible Collector gets some health, I like it. I like this change. It's still like not, if you think about it, it's not that good of a unit still, but at least it's getting something for its gorge that can help with the ridiculous amounts of incoming damage. Lifesteal almost didn't matter on this unit in the DLC if you didn't have an additional way to spike its health, because it just dies to the waves before it can even lifesteal. So I really like that change. I like this change. Crucible Extension down to a 1. That's a really good card now. Crucible Warden gain 1. I like that. It's not that OP. I'll play around with these. I like that. These are really nice changes so far. Ember Cache. It actually does something now. It deals 5 damage to enemy units, flat, and still does the same thing. And it's common. Ooh, I don't know about that. So what went to the uncommon tier? Something Perils went to the uncommon tier. I like it, actually. My knee jerk was that I didn't like that this went to common, but this makes Ember Drain easier to pull off. You kind of had the chicken egg problem before. But I still think Ember's Drain's always been pretty decently okay to pull off. I like this, though. This card is a lot more playable. The problem with Perils is it just feels bad when you first pick it, because if you don't immediately go and get yourself a holdover on it, it's like, yeah, I play it on my morsels here and there, but it's not really that powerful early game, whereas this, flat 5 is going to be amazing early game, right? And you can build around this as a way into Ember Drain that isn't as consistent as a Holdover Perils, but it at least opens you up to take Void Binding and stuff like that. I really like that change. Amber Forge. I mean, I still think it needs... Well, it's 2 pip. I'll just have to play around with it and see. I still kind of am like, it's still hard. Like, it's doing a lot, I guess. So, I don't know. Maybe it's okay now. What's the essence? Did we check? Was there any other essences here? The essences here haven't changed, which I don't love. I don't think these are very good essences. I think it should just give the Gorge effect without the stat gain. So just Gorge Lifesteal and Gorge Damage Shield. In my opinion, that's what these essences should be. But the Ember Forge upgrade is decent now. You could add it to a tank, and it gives it a pretty good chunk of health and gives an actual proper amount of Ember. That's a pretty good essence, I would say. 2 Ember a turn with 20 health. Yeah. Ember Forge looks takeable now. At 2 pip, I still don't know that I would justify the unit on a floor. It wouldn't be horrible though. You know, it's kind of nice to get some morsels and the Ember, but I think it'd be still hard to justify this on a floor for me. But definitely the essence looks good. Engine upgrade's the same. Kindle is permafrosted, but costs 1. I guess so. I think overall it is probably a benefit. But I don't know, I think it's also at the uncommon tier. So something must have got pushed into the rare tier from uncommon. Making of a morsel still the same. Morsel maker. Interesting. Kind of actually makes sense. Like, I mean, it uses less pip on the floor, which could be nice. It costs 1, which makes sense. Never really made sense that it costed 2. And, you know, the essence remains the same, but actually kind of makes more... it makes equal sense here. A Morsel Miner is a 6/6, so you're basically... You're getting the same, you're getting less chump blocking, well, you're not even getting less chump blocking value from it because it has a damage shield, so you could even set it up top. I really like this change, wow. That's a really nice change to Morsel Maker. Morsel Master, huh, I'm surprised he didn't change Morsel Master. Or the Essence. Because I thought it was him that brought forth the idea of just basically doubling the morsels eaten when this unit is on the floor. Maybe that's his eventual plan. That's probably hard to code. Alloy starts with 2 feel. I love that. I mean, this has always been probably one of the better Umbra units, but it does feel bad that it just can't attack when it plops down. I think that's a good change. It doesn't really make it OP or anything, it just makes it a little less annoying to play. If I were to offer the slightest amount of criticism, I would say maybe feel 1, not feel 2. But, you know, that's fine. Cave In... I mean, obviously it was pretty unplayable before, but I don't know if I love just completely changing the effect of this. Like, it is another Ember Drain card, but it applies days. I mean, technically it's going to be a better card, right? But, I don't know. Is it a better card? I wonder that this is really... it kind of seems like I would just use it to prepare a floor below me with Dazed, because if I had an Ember Drain deck, I might just have Void Binding or Immortal Trade, and I wouldn't really need to daze the enemy units, but I guess if I didn't have those, it would still be pretty good. I mean, it's definitely better than what it was. It's definitely super usable now. I just don't know thematically if it makes a whole lot of sense, but I don't know. I'll just have to play around with it and see. Furnace Tap remains the same. Grovel remains the same. Morsel Maid actually gets a nerf, which is fine, I guess. It doesn't get the stats anymore, which is fine. I mean, it's still an incredibly powerful card. Oh, Void Binding goes to the rare tier, which makes sense. It's a pretty powerful card. I don't know, though. I think Ember Drain overall gets a nerf then. If Perils is at the uncommon tier, it's found technically less often than it is at the common tier. And I think you still... I actually don't like... I'll be honest, I don't know. My knee-jerk reaction is that I don't like this change because originally you had helped the chicken egg problem by moving Perils to uncommon, but if you move Void Binding to rare, now you still have the chicken egg problem because half the time, you know, you get your rares at ring 3 before the uncommons have really showed up, and Furnace Tap and Void Binding, the two best reasons to go Ember Drain, you'd have to take them out of turn, right? Like, Furnace Tap is takeable out of turn, but Void Binding is a little tougher. Yeah, you can zero cost it and hold it over, and then that's technically an Ember Drain deck, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. That's my knee-jerk reaction. Obviously, we'll just have to see. I wonder what... So Plink prioritizes hitting different units now? I mean, that'll make it better, probably. Just means it can't hit a tank twice in a row, so it or it's just harder to low roll with it, I guess. Shade Splitter, no changes there. Mitosis, Overgorger remains... Actually, it gets a buff to health. I like that. I definitely like that. I still don't know that I would use it, but my problem with Overgorger is Umbra just so often is in dire situations early on, and you can't justify having this unit so slow to scale. Obviously, it gets there. Once it gets there, it's amazing, but... Whoa, Shadow Eater. So this unit is technically better now, but I don't know. I kind of think what made this unit so fun has been removed by this change. Like, just the weird interactions of gorging several times and getting strike stuff. I don't think I like the Shadow Eater change. It's technically more usable now in a... Like, this is much more takeable now, right? Like, this is actually an incredible unit as I look at it. Like, it's sweep, and it has 40 health. Honestly, even if it didn't have Gorge plus 4 damage, it'd be an incredible unit. But the fact that it gains 4 entire flat damage on Gorge, this might have just became the most busted unit in the clan. Just, that's my knee-jerk there. But it also, like, loses a lot of the cool interactions it had before. I mean, you could self-infuse this sucker. You could put alloy into it. This is going to be an incredible unit now. Very, very interesting. I don't know, though. I kind of like the uniqueness it had before. And you could, like, put Umbra Stone on it. Yeah, that's going to be ridiculous. Umbra Stone, it's just no change. Blazing Bolts, we don't know. I can't look at the subsequent final card, but I'm assuming nothing changed there. Excavation Eruption just looks better. I mean, it's basically, looks like a pretty good card to me now. For, hitting a random enemy 4 times, same effect. It's just a 5 minus to the damage. That's just a pretty much overall buff. I like that. I don't like. I feel like Gem Trove should be a 3 cost. Or if you wanted to move a unit to the rare tier, do the Gem Trove, because it sucks to start with this card. It sucks to start with a 4 cost in your starting opener. And like I said, I don't like the chicken egg that has been preserved by moving Void Binding to rare. If I were to suggest change there, I would say Void Binding uncommon, Gem Trove rare, and maybe Gem Trove rare. You could... I feel like this could be considered a rare, honestly. Rares are off... Like, a lot of rares just technically aren't good outside of specific situations, which Gem Troves fits the bill, right? Like, you already have enough good rares that having a shitty rare is fine. Shadow Siege. Still 6 pip. 4 cost at least, but has Ember Drain of 2. And Slay, gain Ember Drain 1. That is an interesting Slay. I like this change, I think. I probably still wouldn't take it. The Essence is a huge upgrade, though, I would say. That's an incredible amount of stats for just a 1 pip. And then the Ember Drain 2, I can deal with that. I can deal with that just fine. I like that. I like the Essence, so I'd probably take it for the Essence. And it's a little more playable now, but it's still like kind of unplayable. I feel like 6 pip already needs a pip upgrade. And so it's like, do you take a pip and an Ember upgrade? You still need moving parts for it to get out as a unit. And then as a unit, it's not quite as good anymore. The stats are worse, and it has a downside Slay. But definitely as Essence, that's a really good Essence. But we'll see, I'm just talking, I'm largely talking out of my ass because I haven't even played it yet, right? And let's take a look here. I'm assuming huge changes here. Well, no change actually. Oh. Wait. Okay, so this doesn't gain pip and maintains the same stat line. That's pretty good. I would say Monstrous looks pretty good to me now. But it's also a good flex. But, well, if it was a good flex now, it was a good flex before. Mainly, I think it just benefits from going full Monstrous now. Glutton. Looks like no real change to Glutton, which is a little odd. It's weird because it looks to me like everything else got buffed, but except for Glutton, because Glutton was the only one that got lifesteal before. Now they all get lifesteal. But if I'm not mistaken, the stat line hasn't changed here for Glutton. Maybe it has. No, 15 and 6. That's way higher than it used to be, right? I'd have to check, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll play around with it, but my knee-jerk reaction to Glutton here is that, like, the same problems still exist. Like, it still has such low starting stats that, like, putting it mid or bottom floor in Divinity is almost undoable. And then, obviously, top floor, you still have the problems of Sweep and Morsels. So I don't really think Glutton just adding... If the stats even are increased here, I don't know that fixes a whole lot of the issues there, but we'll see. I'll give it a shot. Monstrous, though, for sure looks better. The initial lifesteal that it just has by default now, and the fact that I can, for 4 pip, get this stat out of a trample unit, that's a good card. And Wow, Architect. Seems a little busted, honestly. I mean, Architect already was the best path, and honestly a pretty good path. It gave up damage on itself for damage to the floor. I mean, that's gotta be an upgrade, right? About the same amount of health, but I mean, even to itself, eventually that rage would almost get its damage up to where it was, but certainly the damage to the entire floor, that's... I'll be honest, so I like the change. It's a cool change. It's not going to be busted. It's just making an already good path a little bit better. And a little bit more interactive and fun, so it's a good change. I'll say that. And it's... I mean, at first glance, it's powerful. I don't know that it's busted. I mean, 4 rage a turn is good, but it's not, like, game-breaking. I'll have to play around with it. I think it's a cool change, though. Definitely Architect and Monstrous got better. I don't know about Glutton, though. We'll see. Any changes to Primordium? Superfood lost its initial health, but it gets... initial damage shield, which is probably way better than initial health. And it just starts with more buffet. So it starts with 4 buffet. That seems good to me, and even going all in on it, you get buffet 6, so I really like that, actually. I could definitely see myself taking superfood even more now. Stalwart instead, it's interesting, so superfood is the one that gets extra buffet now. What Stalwart just gets is stats. Stalwart looks like it got maybe a little downgraded then. I don't know. Interesting. I'd have to try it out, but it doesn't look bad. I couldn't see myself taking Stalwart over Superfood or Aggressive now. Like, ever. Because, I mean, Aggressive is still aggressive. Nothing changed with Aggressive, it looks like, so it's still OP. And Superfood just looks way more OP now. But Stalwart... I mean, going all in on this, if you think about it, going all in Superfood 3 is already better than Superfood 2, and Stalwart 1 was, so, which was incredible to have, though maybe you could argue Superfood 1 and Stalwart 2, if you can deal with not having the damage shield, would be superior, but yeah, I don't know about Stalwart. I'd have trouble justifying ever taking it, honestly, over Aggressive or Superfood in the current state, but we'll see. I'll play around with it. I don't know how long this video needs to go on, really. I'm just gonna look around here and there at stuff that interests me, I guess. Brawler gets Strike +1 and way more armor. So it's just buffed. I mean, that's fine. I've always thought Prince was the worst champ. Slay goes to the whole floor. Interesting. I mean, it's definitely better. At first glance, I don't know that I would take it. Well, it's a lot better. The Slay is to the whole floor. It got initial health, which is nice. I still think Ring 1 damage is weak, but I'll have to play around with that. Slay, apply armor to everybody. Wow, that's interesting. Well, overall, just buffs across the board, which honestly, Wrathful Prince or Prince needed, because Prince sucks. I'll play around with it. Hard to even comment here because these are pretty drastic changes, honestly. Hopefully, it's a good champ now. I think it might be. We already saw the royalty basically gets multi-strike by default now and just scales back the rally a bit, which I think is nice. I wouldn't say it's OP or anything. It just means it's a takeable path now over the others sometimes, right? Though, perhaps I still... Imp Parade, interesting. I don't know what the imps gain plus 10 damage. That's interesting. That really changes up this path. And the imps gain multi-strike, so the idea here is to like get a parade of imps essentially and actually keep them on the floor, which is probably the original intent of Imp Parade, so thematically I like it. I'd like to give it a shot, and Imperialist largely is just the same. I guess the only downside here... yeah, there is a downside here because there's nothing that reduces the imp cost, which was pretty nice before. I also don't get my guaranteed rage imp, so I would actually say... my knee-jerk reaction is that Shardtail lost value, just as a shard, like... just the way I play Shardtail, but I'd have to play around with, I guess, now the fact that Rally is more useful. You could probably flex Royalty and Imp Parade to a decent degree. You're going to get at least some guaranteed imps there, and, you know, some health. You could scale her and have her be a multi-striker. I guess what she's turning... I guess the push here is to make her more of a carry unit rather than a supporting unit, which is fine, I guess. I'll just have to play around with it, but it'll be a big adjustment to the playstyle of Queen now. Like, everything changed here, it seems. Which is fine. What about anything other here? Explosive, you just start with regen and everything else stays about the same. Very interesting. And it's a buff. Cultivating looks like it got pretty nerfed. Like, it doesn't give you the draw upgrade and it doesn't cultivate. It just gives itself kind of measly health upgrades. I don't know if I love that. And then bristling just remains the same. I don't know. To me it seems Sentient got significantly worse, but we'll just have to play around with it and see. It's one thing to just talk about it, it's another to actually play it, right? But my knee-jerk there reaction is like the best path significantly seems to have gotten worse. It's obviously better as a pure tank, but as we... let's put it this way, is Guard of the Unnamed that good of a unit? Not really, right? I mean, you take it when you need it, but the big nice thing about cultivating Sentient is like you got the extra draw. So like even if you didn't end up using it as a unit on your floor, it just sat there at a really high health total and gave you plus draw for several turns, even against like Divinity. Now if I don't use it on my floor, it's utterly useless. In fact, it's almost just guaranteed to be a future Ember Drain / Harvest, right? That so if you don't end up using it on your floor, even on the floor, I don't know that it is better than the Cultivating Sentient, because you could, you know, the +3/+3 on Revenge to your backliner has to be better than just Revenge plus, it's offensive, you know, +3 to the unit itself. Plus it has worse starting stats, so I don't see any world where this is better, just at first glance, but I could try it out and see. So, I don't know. Explosive got, to me, like, kind of a minor upgrade. It's still not going to clear floors out. Yeah, I don't know. Sentient looks bad. Seems like... did Thornlord lose health? thought he had a little more than 100 at rank 3, but maybe not. Strangler at least gains some stuff on additional points, which is nice. There's just never any point to do it. I do wonder if the regen is enough, but I think it could be. That makes him a pretty good tank. I could go full Strangler and supplement it with other regen, and then it would be pretty nice to... Because it kind of always sucks into Relentless, right? This gives it an option to be decent into Relentless. Doesn't look like really much changed with Predator. Looks like nothing changed with it, which is fine. So yeah, really just Strangler changed, it seems. And I like it. I like it. We already talked about Tethys in the other one. I don't know that I love the Withering Monument. The other ones are obviously more powerful, and I like those changes. To me, now Handheld Totem just seems to de facto be the best. So I'll play around more with that. But Withering Monument, I guess Withering Monument should be good too. It has decent stats, but it doesn't really do much for Relentless. I don't know. I don't think Withering Monument looks that great to me, though. Definitely would have preferred Conduit stay there, but at least like Chillwind is pretty decent now. Still kind of sucks in Divinity. I do wonder though, without a Conduit, if Tethys just hasn't been downgraded. But the Handheld Totem Path looks very strong now, so we'll give that a shot. Would be so powerful if I could flex Conduit with it, though. If I could flex Conduit with the current Handheld Totem, Tethys would be an A tier, S tier champ. So Dire Channel gets reworked. And it gets Trample. But it attacks, so it just has attack instead of the old effect. Honestly, that seems good. It gets Trample even rank 1 here. Dire Channel looks really good. Wow. I'll have to give that a shot. I mean, 8 damage on Incant, and it'll get Trample basically in a proper Incant deck, roughly by wave. If you got a really good Incant deck, you could get it by the time the first wave gets there, but realistically, second wave, you'll probably have Trample, and you won't hopefully need it for the first one. Cold Channel just gets a slight health increase, it looks like. Oh no, it actually gets... Wow, Cold Channels looks busted. So you get the addition... It's like better statted at all ranks, and has just additional Frostbite at all ranks. That looks pretty busted to me. I'll have to give that a shot. And then Titan Channel got nerfed. Kind of nerfed. Not really. It just looks about as good. It just has a different change where the base health is a little lower, but on Incant it gains health, so it kind of looks buffed, honestly. Let's see, at 3, I could definitely get the health up. Yeah, it looks to be buffed, which... It was already incredibly powerful, so I don't know. Soulguard might be the best champ rework. Well, the most power gaining rework I've seen yet. Are we just gonna go? We might as well go through all of them at this point. Burn Bright seems to have stayed about the same, which I don't know. I just don't see myself using Burn Bright at that stat line. What's that really do? Accumulator is the same. So on Prepare, the only change here is that Dark Calling gets it on Prepare. I mean, I would say largely my Rector game just remains the same here, except Dark Calling got a rank 1 buff. Still has the problem, I think, of there's not much reason to ever go rank 2 or 3, so I'd like to at least see a rank 3 power spike to the damage. or maybe reform more than 2 random units or something. Like, there's just no point to not go Accumulator 2 and Dark Calling 1 if given the choice. And yeah, I mean, Dark Calling just gets a buff because instead of on Resolve, you get it immediately. So, like, you can go bottom floor here now, or sorry, top floor with it. I don't know, though. Yeah, I think I'd rather... I like just from a gameplay perspective, Resolve makes you have to make more decisions. I think one of the things that makes Rector have such a high skill ceiling / make it fun for people that get really good with him is like the fact that you have to make these decisions of where to put him at. I do think this makes him a little more brain like lower skill to play, because it's like, now I'll just play him top every time. Why would I ever play him bottom, right? Because now I can wait for every floor to die out, and then I just get back exactly what I need. I guess you could maybe make the argument that now... I don't know. It's like... there are some advantages to the Resolve, like, based on positioning, but for the most part, I would just always go top now, and it's just way easier to get the units back, which, I don't know. I don't know if I like that change. I'd rather just keep it Resolve, make the decisions of where to go in at remain, but actually give it proper reason to ever go, like Dark Calling 3, right? Like, make me sacrifice my stats on Rector, because I'll get tons of stats by going Harvest 2 and Dark Calling 1, right? But if I want to go Dark Calling 3, make me get a proper benefit by limiting my stats on Rector, and make me get, like, a ton of scaling that is at least in line with, like, Firelight, right? Speaking of that, has Firelight been nerfed? Doesn't look like it. It's the same. Eternal is different. Interesting. Hard to speculate on whether it's better or worse here. It's probably roughly around the same, maybe worse. It was pretty busted as it was, but all 3 paths are busted, right? I do think this is maybe a nerf. Oh, I don't know. It gains a lot of damage on Extinguish now, but it's probably a buff. It's probably a buff, right? I don't know. It's fine, I guess. And then really no changes to Icarus, right? Yeah, not really. I guess yeah, there's no changes. And then there was no changes to Spine Chief that I could see. And no changes to Echo, right? Oh, whoa. Never mind. What the hell? Oh. Bog Deep Cocoon at all levels? I don't know about that. It's hard. I'll have to try it out, but my initial knee-jerk there is that rank 1, that's a pretty big downgrade. Well, not really. I mean, it depends, I guess. Like, I don't know. I think this really makes those fights where you start without... The nice thing about Martial Lord rank 1 is sometimes you just don't start with consumables at all. And Ring 1, you wanted an option that could be good, you know, in that event. And Martial Lord was a great option then. It's also just a generally strong early game, but I don't know, if you don't have any consumables, you're not getting that etch out of it, and you're basically now having a egg that is way harder to hatch than your other rank 1. I think I would rather still see the old egg here. You could keep it still to summon, add that, in a way, it's still like kind of a downgrade, because you can't overstack like you could before. I don't think I like the Martial Lord change. I'll play around with it, but my initial reaction is that I don't like it. But yeah, everything else seems to stay about the same. Alright, now that I've just been hypercritical like a spoiled little child, we'll just keep playing with it. I mean, I like everything generally. I'm just being like, I'm just being a little critical, spoiled child, like I said. We'll give them all a shot. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.